Hello, welcome to my Enola Holmes review, directed by Harry Bradbeer, who I'm taking a look at his filmography, his directing credits. He's basically a TV director. This is, from what I can tell, his first feature film. He's done everything outside of that to be TV series or TV movies. So this is essentially his first film, which I guess you could say is a TV film as well, because it's on Netflix. But this is, from what I can tell, absolutely meant to be a film released on the big screen. Everything that, in terms of how it's marketed, who's in it, how it's framed, it looks like it was meant for the big screen. And I do think it was a shame, actually, to not see it on the big screen. Now, it obviously features Henry Cavill in the starring role of Sherlock, which has caught him in a bit of a fray because there is some legal action being taken, because it seems that this interpretation of Sherlock being someone who has a little bit of emotion and isn't horrible to women, again, this is part of the actual characterization, has landed the production in some hot water, and they are actually being sued for infringing copyright law, apparently. Now, we also have Millie Bobby Brown in the starring role of Enola Holmes, and Sam Claflin as Mycroft Holmes. Now, we do also have Helena Bonham Carter, and this is what I mean. This is a star-studded cast. Definitely wasn't meant for Netflix. It absolutely was meant for the big screen, and I think it would have done much, much better on the big screen. Inevitably, it going to Netflix, it's not really making any money for the platform, but this was, from what I can tell anyway, the distributor, or at least the production company, was Legendary. Legendary were involved, and I think this could have made some money for them. I think this could have been a good movie for families to go and see. It's definitely not a movie which I can recommend my core audience to rush out and watch. There are some real negatives with this film. Millie Bobby Brown's English accent is horrendous. It sort of dips in and out, and she can't quite nail it. Obviously, she's not British, and her accent is a big struggle, and especially against Henry Cavill, who's a very well-spoken Brit. To compare the two, it shines a light on Millie Bobby Brown's accent skills. However, outside of that, her acting was actually very, very good in this. I enjoyed her acting, not her accent. Her acting's good. She is coming into her own, and I think being a star that came up from Netflix, Stranger Things, you really do have to branch out. Like, if I'm looking at Millie Bobby Brown's career, right? We obviously introduction being Netflix, and then I look at Finn Wolfhard's career, again, introduction being Stranger Things on Netflix. Finn Wolfhard has played multiple characters exactly the same. Same glass. I mean, obviously, he probably does wear glasses. I don't know. But basically, he's been typecast. Millie Bobby Brown is going outside the box, and that's good. That's going to be great for her career, and I think she'll have a great career moving forward. Anyway, Helena Bonham Carter in this was pointless, but again, if you use it from the perspective of this was supposed to be a movie on the big screen, you can kind of see why she was included. It's name recognition. So Enola Holmes, played by Millie Bobby Brown, wakes up one day, finds her mother missing, and a game is afoot. That's basically the premise of the story. Her brothers get involved. They come to the house. They realise that, she's not there. There's some sort of interpersonal relationships with the whole family structure. So Enola doesn't get along with Mycroft. Mycroft has Enola as his ward, which is basically, you are my responsibility. And there's all this sort of there's the undertones of class, right? Classism, British class, and this is something which is really important, because it's some guys in the States may watch this and go, it's absolutely 100% woke. But the core structure of this story and the core message here is actually about class, not so much about feminism and things like that. It's mainly it's a story about class. So it's a story about choosing what you want to be and not having to be, an upper class lady and all this kind of stuff. And that's the core message here. And that's roped into this interpersonal relationship with Enola and her brother Mycroft, because Mycroft wants Enola to obviously grow up, get married off, and to do that, she has to go to finishing school, which in the UK, they still have them, actually. It's basically a school which teaches you to be a lady, which I know is like a travesty in this day and age. But it's fascinating. It's a very interesting sort of take on a movie, I guess, and the story. I'm not familiar with Enola Holmes. I know it's based on a book. But it's an interesting take on the Sherlock Holmes world. I enjoyed it. It's very overlong. It's 2+ hours. I think it runs at like 2 hours 5 minutes or 2 hours 10 minutes. And they could have really shortened that down. They really could have shortened it down. And I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they just a little bit of padding and stuff like this. I don't know. But, no spoilers here. There's not really any... What spoilers can you get into? It's basically just all about classism. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Again, nothing which I can highly recommend you definitely rush out and go and watch. If you've got Netflix, switch it on one afternoon. The acting was good. It's good to see Henry Cavill. I like Henry Cavill as an actor. And it's nice to see him in more things, kind of branching off and doing a little bit more outside of, the thing that he's become known for, which is Superman, which he's not really being hired for anymore, is he? So it was good to see him. Again, good to see Millie Bobby Brown not be typecast anymore. I enjoyed the music. The cinematography in this was fantastic. They used some really, really good lenses with a very crisp center. And then as you go to the outer edges, they start to soften up, which is quite a unique take. They tend not to use that type of lens with that sort of effect in bigger budget productions these days, but I actually really like it. I think that sort of softening, and it's not about sort of focal length. It is actually the lens's ability to, it just sort of softens and warps a little bit on the edges. But I really like that, and they used some of those lenses in this film. Really, really liked that. The music was fine. It was all pretty good. Some of the effects were very wonky. They had to recreate, obviously, old London, and they also had to create some bridges, which obviously, if they were filming in the UK or Europe or anywhere like that around it, there would be more roads, and some of those were CG, and you could definitely tell that they were CG, but for the most part, I enjoyed this film. It was a good fun romp, good acting all round, just real bad accents, and when you know that it was very clearly meant for a sort of bigger screen production, that's when you can go, oh yeah, okay, it makes sense as to why they've got these characters that we don't really see that much of. But I enjoyed it. There's a touching story there between a mother and a daughter, and a mother just wanting the best world for her daughter to grow up in. I liked it very much. So anyway, if you have seen it, please do let me know your thoughts down below. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It has huge faults. I wouldn't rate it even, I don't know, maybe a 6 out of 10, if that. But it doesn't dampen my enjoyment of it. It was what it was. It was an okay Netflix movie. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.